Hi everybody, Marco Carbajo here from businesscreditbuilders.org. Today's video, we're going to share with you how to get business vehicle financing with no PG. So if you're looking to purchase a vehicle for your business or lease a vehicle for your business, this is the video for you. We're going to share with you how to do that with Alli Bank. So let's get started. First is, what are the advantages of financing a vehicle in your business name? Some of the basics is separation of personal and business assets. Now the next thing is liability protection. So if you're taking your vehicle, whether you're taking clients or you're using it quite a bit for business, remember when you have vehicle financing in your business name and the title's in your company's name, if unfortunately you're able to get in an accident in that vehicle during business hours, then liability protection is very, very key in getting a vehicle in your company's name. So you do get those liability protections because the vehicle and the insurance is under your commercial insurance, not your personal vehicle and not your personal insurance. So you definitely get higher insurance coverage as well when you have commercial auto insurance for your vehicle, for your company. So that's another benefit. This also helps you build business credit. So if you're looking to also build credit for your company in the company's name, this is a great tool for you as far as getting vehicle financing in the company's name as opposed to your personal. And this will also protect your personal credit. So remember, when you get a vehicle loan or a lease in your personal name, it shows up on your personal credit. And obviously that debt, those payments, that affects your credit score, your utilization, etc. So if you have multiple vehicles that you're going to operate for your business, obviously that's going to have a great impact on your personal credit if you have even several auto loans or leases showing up on your personal credit. So when you get vehicle financing in the business's name, those particular debt loads on the auto loans or auto leases for the company will not show up on your personal credit. So this helps you protect your personal credit. All right. So the other thing, of course, is tax advantages. There are many tax advantages to financing a vehicle in your company's name, but I'm not an accountant, so I do recommend you consult with your CPA on whether this would be a good move for you as a business owner to get vehicle financing in your company's name. All right, so what is actually needed? Now, Alli Bank is the bank we're going to talk about where they offer two different options for you to get a vehicle with a PG and without a PG. And we're going to cover both of those programs in this video. I know we talked about no PG, but it's important that you know the PG option just in case you don't qualify for the no PG option. But before you get into going to a dealership and applying for financing with Alli Bank via a dealership, I'm going to share with you what you actually need to bring to a dealership. If you already know what kind of vehicle you want, who's the manufacturer, whether it's Ford or GM or Chrysler or BMW, etc., you have to have these documents on hand when you go to the dealership. So obviously they're going to ask you for your business name. We're going to share with you how to find which dealerships actually offer this type of financing with Alli Bank. So you need to know obviously your business name. You want to also have your articles of incorporation or certificate of formation with you, just in case they want to see it. Okay, it's important to have this document rather than have to go back home and say, I need to go get it. I don't have it on me. So bring your articles of incorporation for your business or your certificate of formation. They're also going to want to see your employer identification number, which is CP 575. That's your document. With your EIN, you want to make sure before you even go to applying for credit for vehicle financing, you want to make sure your EIN letter is up to date and it's current. And what I mean by that is this EIN letter will have your business name and your business address. If your business address on this EIN document is incorrect, let's say you moved or you have a new address for your company, you want to get this updated first before you take this document to a dealership, okay? There's nothing more going to cause you more issues than if you have a wrong address on your CP 575 and you're putting a different address on your application for financing for the vehicle. Okay, so to get this address updated on your EIN document, you're going to call this 800 number right here. Talk to them and say, I'd like to verify my address for my business. They're going to pull it up. They'll give you the address. Say, I need to update and correct my address. They'll update and correct it. And remember, this is going to take a little time. You may be on hold for 15, 20 minutes. When they update it, just request for them to fax a new EIN document to you, a new CP-575. Okay, they typically mail it, but if you say I'm applying for financing, I need to have this document, they'll fax it right over to you, and you can have that brand new updated EIN document right away. Okay, so that's what you want to make sure is updated and current. The next thing you want, and just in case they ask, is you want to have your past 3 months of business bank statements. Not your personal bank statements, your business bank statements that show revenue, that show your past 3 months. If they ask for it, you have it. You're obviously going to be asked for your business address, what's your gross revenue for the business, not your net profit, your gross revenue, because they're going to want to put that in the application, and they're going to ask for owner's information. That's it. That's what you want to be prepared to have available to you when you go and apply for financing. For vehicle financing in your company's name, Alli Bank is a real popular option. You'll see a lot of videos of them out there. I'm going to cover a little bit more details in this video as far as what you want your report to look like to get no PG financing for your vehicle. We're going to talk about buying or leasing, because they offer both of those options for you to get it in your company's name. Now, with Alli, they offer 2 options. They have a third-party guarantee option and a business name only option, and that's what they call it on their website. There's a third-party guarantee with a PG, or a business name only, no PG. So when you go to the dealership that offers Alli financing, that you want to obviously ask for the business name only financing program with Alli Bank. All right, because that's the no PG option. To use the dealer locator, remember, you can't go directly to Alli Bank to apply for vehicle financing. You can only go through a dealership that offers their financing. So what you want to do is use their dealer locator. So when you go to Alli, here's their website. I'm going to share with you really simple how to find a dealership where you can apply for vehicle financing in your company's name. So this is the Alli.com website. So you're going to click on auto right here. That's going to bring this down, and you see vehicle financing. You're going to click on business. You click on business right here, and you'll see right here it says find a dealer. All right, so you click on here, find a dealer, and this is where you're going to select the vehicle brand that you're looking. All right, and then you're going to click on, obviously type in your zip code, and they're going to bring up all the dealers in your area that offer that particular type of vehicle brand. And where you can go and then obviously apply for financing for your vehicle. So it's that simple to find with Alli which dealerships offer financing. Okay, so these are the 2 options. Let's break down each of those options. First, let's talk about option number 1, third-party guarantee or a personal guarantee. The one thing I want you to realize when it comes to a personal guarantee, most people think, well, if I have to provide a personal guarantee, that means that I'm guaranteeing my company's going to pay on this. If the company doesn't pay, then I'm liable. That's correct. But the one thing that's not talked about is even though you provide a personal guarantee, most people get confused thinking that it's going to show up on their personal credit. Well, with this particular program, third-party guarantee does require a personal credit check. Now, you want to have a 650 or higher credit score if you're selecting this option. All right, for vehicle financing. Now, why the score is a little lower is because the vehicle is serving as also collateral for financing. Okay, that's why with vehicle financing, it's a little bit easier to get financing compared to if you go in unsecured financing and you want to buy it outright, there's no collateral. Okay, so with this type of financing, the vehicle is serving as collateral. This does require a personal guarantee, but the benefits that still remain intact that's important for you to know is this allows you to still keep your name off the title of the vehicle. That's number 1. And number 2, this keeps your business auto loan that you get through Alli or Lease off of your personal credit report. So even though they're running a personal credit check, even though you're providing a personal guarantee, the actual loan itself and the lease does not report to your personal credit, only reports to the business credit bureaus. Okay, so you're still protecting your personal credit as far as the loan and lease showing up, but the inquiry is going to be the only impact. Okay, so this is their third-party guarantee option. Now, just remember this though, in the event that your business defaults and doesn't pay on the loan or the line or the lease for the vehicle, then that's where the PG kicks in. You as the owner are going to now be responsible to pay, and at that point, that's when it may report to your personal credit. Okay, so that's the difference when you're offering a third-party guarantee. you're most likely going to require a personal guarantee if the following. Number one, you're under 1 year in business. So even though you may go for the no PG option, which I'm going to cover in detail here in a second, if you're under a year in business, they may still require you to provide a personal guarantee. So be prepared for that. All right. If you're less than a year in business, if you have low business revenue, so you may have a good, strong, established Dun & Bradstreet credit report, and let's say you're 12 months in business, but let's say your revenue is really, really low. They may require a PG in that case. So that does happen. Let's say you have no Dun & Bradstreet credit report established at all. They're going to require you to provide a personal guarantee because they have no way to assess the credit worthiness of your business. Most likely you're going to have to provide this option. Also, if you have less than 10 trade lines reporting on your D&B report. See, it's one thing you say you may have an 80 paydex score on your Dun & Bradstreet credit report. You may have several trade lines reporting, maybe 4 or 5 of them, and you've only had it 6 months of payment history. Okay, that's still minimal credit history, and that's not a lot of depth. So if you have less than 10 trade lines, they may require you to still provide a personal guarantee. So this does happen. Or let's say you have less than 12 months of D&B credit history for your company. What's Dun & Bradstreet? Dun & Bradstreet is a business credit reporting agency. This is a business credit reporting agency that Alli will pull on your company when we get into the no PG option. They're going to run a Dun & Bradstreet credit report check. All right, so I'm going to share with you that a little more in detail in a second. But just keep this in mind. You're more than likely to require a PG when you're trying to get business vehicle financing in your company's name if these criteria apply. Now, just remember, though, I did tell you, even though you're providing a PG, it's still helping you build business credit, and it's not reporting on your personal credit. What I encourage you to do is go to the dealership. Let's say you go to the no PG route, and then they require a PG. Let's say they ran a D&B credit check on your company, or your revenues aren't strong enough, or you're only like 8 months in business and it's still a little risky, and they want to run a credit check for you. That's why it's important for you to know where your credit is before you actually go apply for financing. Because at the dealership, they say, well, you know what? Alli's requiring a PG. We need to run a credit check on you. And if you have no idea what your credit score is at, obviously that's not a good thing. So it's important that I recommend for you to order a copy of your 3 bureau report and your FICO scores, not your Vantage scores. Credit Karma and some of these other websites offer your Vantage score or educational scores. Those aren't your FICO scores. So you can get your actual FICO scores from knowmycredit.org. This is a company we have a partnership with. They offer a $1 for 7 days to access all 3 reports and FICO scores. You'll see right here. Obviously, with Alli, you want to be over 650 credit scores. But when you go to that website, this is what it's going to look like. And then they offer $32 a month, or $33 a month to monitor all 3 reports and FICO scores. I encourage you, if you don't have a monthly access to your reports and scores, you want to have a service like that because you're always staying on top of your credit. You know where you're at. So if you're going to go apply for a credit card or an auto loan, etc., you'll know where your credit stands. Once you know where your credit scores are at, you have all those business documents on hand. Now you're pretty much ready to go. You kind of know where you're at. But before you go and apply for the no PG option, this is option number 2 that they offer. They offer you the opportunity, Alli does, where you could get business name only financing for your vehicle or a lease with no personal guarantee. But remember, the most important thing with this is they are going to heavily review your business credit. They're going to look at your Dun & Bradstreet credit report. That's the main bureau they're going to look at when it comes to deciding if you can qualify for a vehicle loan or a lease in your company's name with no personal guarantee and no personal credit check. With the application process, they're going to run a D&B report on you, and they're may ask you for some bank statements. So remember that. You want, like I said earlier, you want to have your bank statements on you, and you want to make sure you know what your Dun & Bradstreet credit report looks like. With Dun & Bradstreet, I want to share with you, with no PG, what the minimum requirements that I recommend you to have if you're going to opt for this option. So I recommend you got to have at least an 80 paydex score. That's obviously a no-brainer right there. All right, that means you pay your payments on time. You want to have at least 10 trade lines reporting on your D&B report. Now, I do want you to realize that you may have 6 trade lines, 4 trade lines reporting, you have an 80 paydex score, and you can still go apply for this no PG option. That's fine. But remember, like I said, more than likely they may require a PG because it's not enough depth or not long enough credit history, or let's say you have little to no revenues. That's a higher risk for them, so they may require a PG. Minimum requirements is 1 year of DMB credit history. If you want to ensure that you're going to most likely qualify for a no PG, if you're under a year in payment history, that's really thin payment history for your DMB report. I'm sorry, that's something that works against you with time, but if you have, and you could try it again, but just remember, they're going to most likely require a credit check and a PG. If you're less than a year in business, you hear with most lenders, under 2 years in business, you're considered heavy risk. But with vehicle financing, the vehicle is serving as collateral, so if you're, that's where it's a little more forgiving there, but you want to be at least a year in business. Now, some things to overlook, these particular things I want to talk about real quick, is you still can apply for business vehicle financing with no PG, even though you have less than 10 trade lines reporting on your DMB report, or let's say you have less than a year's worth of payment history on your DMB report, or let's say you're even like 8-9 months in business. What are some ways to overcome and still get no PG on your vehicle financing? I call them compensating factors, where you can offset the risk for the bank, for Alli. So what those compensating factors are is, number one is if you're willing to put some money down on the auto loan or the lease. So our 10 or 20% down payment on the vehicle purchase is going to offset the risk for Alli Bank. So that's one way you can overcome those other factors that are making you more risky. So let's say you have some revenues. Let's say you have only like 7-8 trade lines reporting on DMB, and you only have 6 months of payment history on your DMB report, and you're less than a year in business, but you're willing to put down 20%. All right? Then obviously that means you have skin in the game. Alli may accept that and approve your loan. But one thing I also want to make sure you're aware of is if you each of those factors, don't expect to get, a $100,000 vehicle. If this is your first vehicle purchase, you're under a year in business, and you want to get no PG and put no money down. I mean, you have to be realistic here. You're going to have to start at a certain level of financing to get approved, especially being if your company is under a year old. But putting a down payment does offset that risk. Now, another compensating factor is, let's say, you're 2-3 years in business, and you have a very minimal DMB report. Let's say you only got 3 or 4 trade lines on Dun & Bradstreet. You have an 80 paydex score, but you only have 6 months of payment history. But you're producing great revenues. You're doing 10, 15, 20,000 a month in revenues, let's just say. And you have strong bank statements that show that consistent revenue coming in. They obviously will see you have a healthy business, and they'll overlook that your DMB report is not so strong. Okay, so there's all these things you could do to offset that. Now, you can mention that to the dealer when it comes to going for business name only financing with no PG, is you're willing to put some money down to make this deal work. The worst case scenario is if you go for no PG financing for your business vehicle with Alli and the dealer says no, they're not willing to do it, then the other last option is to provide the personal guarantee, to opt for the third-party guarantee option. They run a credit check on you. Let's say you have really good credit. Let's say you have 680, 690, 700 credit scores. No problem, you're approved. You still get the vehicle. Guess what? It's only reporting to the business credit bureaus, not your personal credit. And all that impacted you was the inquiry. That's your options here when it comes to your compensating factors. I also want to talk about the long-term strategy here. So thinking if this is your first time getting a vehicle on your business name, for those of you who've already done this, then you kind of know the advantages of when you're doing this. And remember, Alli is just one bank. There's other, obviously GM has a business financing, Ford does as well. And they're pretty generous there, so that's something you can opt for as well. But for this video, we're talking about leveraging business vehicle financing with Alli Bank. So once you get your first vehicle loan with Alli, I want to talk about the benefits, the longer term benefits to also keep aware of. Now you're going to establish an existing relationship with Alli. So let's say you get your first vehicle loan with them or lease. Now remember, let's say it's a 3-year lease. Well, then your next lease, your next business vehicle lease with Ally is going to be a much expedited process. It's going to be faster because you already have history with them. You already proved that you can make those payments. All right, so it's going to be a more seamless process when it comes to getting your next vehicle and your next vehicle. Or let's say you need to get multiple vehicles. All right, so remember, when you establish this relationship, this makes your next process much better. Your better terms on your next vehicle purchase or lease. Because now if you have good history with them, that's an advantage for you. Now, if you had to supply a personal guarantee, let's say you had to go the third-party guarantee route initially for your company. Well, the beauty of that is now, let's say on your next vehicle purchase with Ally, they may waive that personal guarantee because you've already proved that your business can pay with the PG. Well, now your business already has some age to it. It's already made its payments. It showed it can handle it. Now you can opt for the no PG option on your second vehicle purchase. So that's something to also keep in mind. Now, the next benefit is scaling your company's vehicle purchasing power. Now, what does that actually mean? Now, remember, out of the gate, getting your first business vehicle in your company's name, remember, you can't expect to jump from 0 to 100,000+ in vehicle financing. So let's say your first vehicle is $45,000, $55,000. Then your next vehicle purchase, if you're opting for a $60,000, $80,000 car, then you may be able to jump like that because you've already shown you can manage this particular dollar amount. So that's how it jumps in segments. So you're going to scale your purchasing power for vehicles with this particular bank. So that's something to also keep in mind. Plus, with an existing relationship with Ally, they have additional financing. You may want to opt for their commercial line of credit for purchasing vehicles as well. So once you get, let's say your first vehicle you got with them is a third-party guarantee, or you want the business-only route with no PG, then also let's say you want to buy a couple of fleet of vehicles, then you may want to apply for their commercial line of credit. When they look at your applying for your commercial line of credit, what do you think they're going to also review? Your previous history with them, your previous vehicle purchases with them. So these are just things I want you to keep in mind in the long-term strategy. So with that, I hope you found this very helpful. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Click subscribe. That way you're notified every single time we come out with a new video like this. And check out our website, businesscreditbuilders.org. We offer done-for-you funding. We get business credit card funding at 0% APR. We do loans, lines of credit, and we also have our do-it-yourself business credit building system. So with that, make it a great day, and we'll talk to you real soon.